Classrooms in schools today are comprised of many different ethnicities and backgrounds. In addition, there are different cultures consisting of various beliefs and morals. All of these factors contribute to diversity in the classroom and in society in general. Teachers have been strongly encouraged to incorporate multiculturalism in education. It is believed that social studies is the platform for teachers to incorporate this. The question to be considered is this: can multicultural education and culturally relevant pedagogy be used to increase student interest in social studies? A disregard for multiculturalism in social studies shows not only a basic lack of understanding of multicultural concepts, but of the social science discipline itself. Good social studies education is virtually synonymous with multicultural education. Students need to be taught that all history needs to be interpreted through different eyes and from different times and places. If students realize the many different mental images there are in the world, they can begin to have multicultural understandings by accepting and affirming difference. In order to answer this question, it is important to learn what multiculturalism is. According to the article, Multiculturalism in Your Classroom, Garcia claims that multiculturalism is an educational movement built on basic American values such as freedom, justice, opportunity, and equality. In the set of strategies aimed to address the diverse challenges experienced by rapidly changing U.S. demographics. It is a beginning step to shifting the balance of power and privilege within the education system. Multicultural education consists of culturally relevant pedagogy, which is also known as the art of teaching. Banks and Banks claims conceptualize multicultural education as consisting of 5 dimensions: content integration, the knowledge construction process, prejudice reduction, an equity pedagogy, and an empowering school structure and social structure. The main focus throughout the multiculturalism education is equity pedagogy. It is first important to understand what equity pedagogy is. According to Banks and Banks, equity pedagogy is defined as teaching strategies in classroom environments that help students from diverse racial, ethnic, and cultural groups gain and attain the knowledge, skills, and attitudes needed to function effectively within and help create and perpetuate a just, humane, and democratic society. It has been researched that competencies for effective multicultural educators fall into 3 categories: knowledge, skills, and attitudes, each necessary for the existence of the other. Knowledge includes an understanding of individual learners' cultures. Skills include recognizing and responding appropriately to learners' strengths and weaknesses and responding to the relationships between learning styles and culture. Skills-based teaching provides school experiences that embrace learners' orientation towards school and academic success. It requires teachers to select standardized tests and evaluation instruments with the least cultural bias, and use of teaching methods have been proven especially appropriate for children and adolescents from culturally different backgrounds. Attitudes include developing positive outlooks and values, creating culturally appropriate learning environments, and modeling for children respect and concern for all people. While multicultural education needs to be addressed across the curriculum, it is possibly most easily introduced to the social studies curriculum. As James Banks points out, multicultural education not only deals with attitude and achievement of students, but also addresses the need for historical accuracy and America's commitment to the democratic ideals. The use of literature in the classroom is a way to incorporate multiculturalism. The way that this can be implemented and taught is by integrating a diverse reading list that demonstrates the universal human experience across cultures and going beyond a textbook. Choosing the right book to integrate multiculturalism in the classroom can seem difficult. However, there are many books that can be used. The Scholastic website provides a variety of books and resources that can be used in the classroom for multicultural integration. In his article, How to Choose the Best Multicultural Books, Clegg categorizes the books based on different ethnicities. Each ethnicity has a book that can choose closely to relate to the specific people group. For example, if a teacher wanted to teach about Latinas, there is a book called All for the Better, The Story of El Barrio. Renowned Puerto Rican writer tells the story of a young girl, Evelina, who made a difference in her community. For Native Americans, Indian Winter by Russell Freeman is set in 1833 and tells how German Prince Alexander Karl Bodmer, a Swiss painter, journeyed upon the Missouri River and spent the winter among the Mandan Indians. The author draws upon the prince's diary, and the illustrator includes detailed paintings to create the incredible account of their adventure. For African Americans, Pink and Say by Patricia Polacco is an unforgettable story of friendship between a black and white soldier during the Civil War. Polacco bridges cultures like no other author or illustrator can. The Jewish culture can be touched by Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins by Eric Kimmel. This author weaves another amusing modern folktale about Hanukkah. Finally, for Asian Americans, Grandfather's Journey by Alan Say is a simple but beautifully written and illustrated book depicting the force of our roots as we are drawn home. These are all great resources for a teacher to use to incorporate a variety of cultures. In social studies, the students can read these books and learn about the history of these cultures. Multiculturalism in the classroom broadens the knowledge of students and is very beneficial. Garcia claims that there are several goals for integrating multicultural education. These goals include creating a safe, accepting, and successful learning environment for all, increasing awareness of global issues, strengthening cultural consciousness, strengthening intercultural awareness, teaching students that there are multiple historical perspectives, encouraging critical thinking, and preventing prejudice and discrimination. It is important for teachers to create multiple ways for students to demonstrate knowledge, which can enrich teaching as well as learning experiences. One way this can be done is by analyzing issues of racism through pop culture. For example, they can study the effects of World War II for Japanese Americans through a variety of mediums such as political cartoons, movies, and photography. The students would have visuals on racism that existed during this time and have a better understanding. They will be able to see the way that it has changed or remained the same throughout our history. Another way that this can be taught is to analyze slavery and the use of the Underground Railroad during the Civil War. For example, for black slaves in America, the road to freedom was a long and difficult one. Black History Month is a great time for students to trace the journey and to learn about some of the heroes who paved the way to freedom. The teacher can invite the students to read historian Anthony Cohen's account of the Underground Railroad, Walk to Canada, the Revival. Then, provide students with a map of the United States and ask them to trace the route of the Underground Railroad from Alabama to Canada. The teacher can encourage students to map some additional routes slaves from another state might have used. When we reflect back on the question, can multicultural education and culturally relevant pedagogy be used to increase student interest in social studies? One can answer with great affirmation. For more research, it has been proven that integrating multiculturalism through social studies is able to be achieved. There have been various ways that a teacher can incorporate this in the classroom. There are resources and guides that are available to help educators. The teacher only needs to take the first step in making this possible. The integration of multiculturalism through social studies can be accomplished and can only have a positive influence on students' education. Through this incorporation, students will not only become more knowledgeable, but also a contributing member of society and well-rounded.